8th house astrology. Let's get right back into 8th house astrology, where I discuss my observations of Sun, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Venus experiences, whether it's platonic, romantic, etc., etc. These are my observations and my breakdown of these things before I go into further depth. We were on the moon in my last video, and I want to get into more of the romantic experience that I've had, because it's really crazy, and just sharing, what I'm seeing, with how the 8th house synastry is described, and where I've seen the worst experiences and where I've seen the best. So in our last video, I was discussing how 8th house synastry is really drawn in and started through magnetism. And, through the magnetism, you uncover a lot of secrets and taboo things. I've discussed, the platonic relationships I've developed, and like how, especially with the moon, I've noticed that it was harder to get rid of, I wanted to get rid of a person with moon in the 8th house synastry as a friend, and we just kept getting closer and closer. Didn't mention that upon that type of placement, we have moon trine Saturn. So there's a good karmic experience that happens as we continue to grow. So that's kind of what made that more elastic. Romantically, I want to speak on one particular experience. There's a few actually, but we're going to start with the more minor one and go into the very toxic one. So the more minor one, ironically, me and this person put our moons in each other's 8th house. And the signs that we were putting in the 8th house, this person had moon in Sagittarius and they put it in my 8th house. And then I had moon in Leo and put it in their 8th house. There was this instant, sexual or romantic attraction that I had to this person. They had walked into my establishment. I at the time was working at a dispensary. I would meet a lot of interesting, weird people in there, and this person happened to be so handsome to me. I was like, oh my gosh, he is fine. And at this time I was like, I'm no longer going to hold back just because someone's cute. Every cute guy that comes into this establishment, I'm going to walk up to. He happened to be the first guy after I made that rule. Started talking, and we were talking about some really deep stuff, instantly. He came up, I was helping him make a decision. He started talking about something else, and it was deep. I think we were talking about past relationships and stuff. And he was like, man, you should take my number. And I was like, really? Oh my gosh, I would love to take your number. And then everyone around me was like, girl, he is fine. Girl, he is fine. So I took his number. We started texting. He was like, you should come play pool with me after work. I didn't want to do that, but we stayed in contact. He initiated a date. We went out to this carnival. It was a cannibal, not a cannibal. Oh, no. Cannabis carnival. And, he initiated that. Where things started to get weird is he's like, you should meet me halfway. I could pick you up, but you should meet me halfway or meet me here to go here. And I was just like, I already told you at the time. My voice. At the time, I didn't have a car. I live in a space where you could take transit everywhere, and I didn't have a car yet. So I was just kind of like, what's up with this guy? So I think he did eventually end up picking me up. He picked me up. We got in, and he was trying to impress me. And I was just like, man, he's so cute. But after a while, I was starting to see some red flags where I was like, I don't know. He was only talking about himself. And there was a lot that he had experienced. One of his friends had just passed away within the last year or two. So he was healing off of that. And the reason why his friend died was through addictions. And that's what they shared in common. So he had an addiction to cocaine. And he revealed that to me very fast and like instantly. And it was just like, man, I don't know what to do. On one hand, this guy is really attractive, but on the other hand, it's like, that's not, like, he just was a dangerous person, like living life in the fast lane, always looking for the next high in every moment, and like on coke. Very vulgar, right? So yeah, when he told me, I was just like, but what I noticed is, how attractive I was finding him at first, that started to die down, and how I like put him on a pedestal, because I did, he easily got knocked off of the pedestal. He was like a big child. And so after a while, because I was trying to respect him, but he wasn't respecting me, he cut out of the connection really fast and like jumped into something else really fast. And then he came back. When he came back, I got disrespectful, and I started like telling him like, I should whoop your butt and blah, blah, blah. And like got more into, at the time, I was like wanting to explore my power through my sexuality. And so I was experiencing and learning about dominatrix, and I was really tapping into that bag and that humiliation bag. And he liked it, and he wouldn't go away when I was like, yeah, I should, da, da, da. And on the more sexual side of things, when we did something one time, it was horrible. First of all, he had Mars in Gemini, and I definitely believe the Mars sign shows like the stamina of a person and the size, and it was just like really skinny, and he lasted like 1 minute. And the thing that about this was, he was someone that lived really far from me. So he lived so far. So the day that we decided to go and be intimate, he came like 45 minutes to do something in 1 minute and then leave. But another thing of where I was vulnerable is like, at the time I lived in this house with like 4 or 5 other people, and my roommate's cat would come in my room and pee in my room. So I never really would want people to go in my room, because it's like, if I have any company, no. I'm a very sensual person, so it was just like, I felt so uncomfortable with this person coming over, and I'm glad it was him, because he just was not it. But I shared a business proposition with this person. We did business together in 2 different ways, and he cut from, trying to pursue me romantically, to like trying to like just keep the business connection and relationship, trying to get the best of what he could, trying to just keep the shared resources pretty much. And we had a shared client that we worked with together, and she was a beautiful woman. She's attractive. To this day, she continues to tell me, oh, this person, he keeps telling me this, or he keeps trying to like get to me through her, but he's trying to hit on her. And I just never took him seriously. Like this moon in 8th house experience, and it being both ways, I'm just like, he like really doesn't have any bandwidth. I don't really take him seriously, and I don't think he takes me seriously, but we have a shared connection. We had shared resources. We shared some really embarrassing things with each other, and I feel like if I wanted to, we could like laugh it off. It's that Sagittarius energy. So that's one of my moon in 8th house experiences where it was going both ways. It just was like toxic, but in a lighthearted way.